How's it going, guys? This is a video on the processes and techniques that you guys can use to finish these raw casts that I sell every now and then. As you can see, this is an ODST helmet here, and when I pulled this one out of the mold, it got a big crack here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a big crack there, and then the mother mold has started getting plastic around the outside, so it made the seam really big and really hard to get rid of. So I wouldn't sell this cast. Somebody had actually bought this and then I made it, and I didn't like the way it came out, so I made him another one, and I'm gonna finish this one and then I'm gonna sell it as a finished helmet. So I thought I would do a video on how you finish them while I'm finishing it. So the first thing that you need to do is just get some like 60 grit or 80 grit sandpaper and go over the seams here and everything, and try to get them down to as even as possible on both sides. And anywhere you see the seam, like on the edges here. And so I've got some 60 grit sandpaper here, and I'm just gonna go along this seam and just try to get it as even as possible across the helmet. The good thing about this plastic is it sands pretty easily. It's kind of like bondo. Okay, so that's, I mean, you can go some more if you want to, but it's not really going to make much difference. You're going to almost have to have a sanding block like this one right here, and you have to go across like big bumps like this. Now, like I said, I wouldn't sell a helmet this bad, so most of the helmets that you get from me anyways aren't going to be this much work to finish off. Mostly it's just going to be sand down with 220 grit sandpaper and then paint, and then take out the visor and everything. But this one was bad, and so I thought I'd show you an extreme case in case you do get a helmet like that from probably not me but somebody else maybe. So anyways, the next step is to get some bondo, and we're going to slap some bondo on here and try to fill in this seam here. So I'll be back in a second with some bondo. Alright, so I have some bondo here. If you haven't seen my bondo tutorial, then I suggest you watch that, because I'm not going to go into super great detail here on the bondo process. I just want to kind of show you how to do it on a cast here. So I'm just going to open this up here. Get my mixing license plate here. And as with finishing a regular helmet, you're going to want to pick one section to work on it at a time. You don't want to like try to put it over the whole entire helmet first, because then you're going to have an ungodly amount of sanding that you don't want to have to do. So just kind of put it on one area at a time. So I'm going to put it up here first, and sand between every layer that you put on, and try to keep the bondo as thin and like as level as possible. So just gonna dip out some here. That should be good for this one. So I got that one either. So now you're just going to take your hardener and squeeze the tube up, you know. Shake it a little, make sure it's not all liquidy in there and everything. And squeeze out however much you think will go with your size of bondo on there. I go into detail on that, well, sort of, in my bondo tutorial. So you just mix it around real good until it's a uniform color. I hope my video is still going. I can't see the camera, or the backside of the camera, to make sure it's still going. Might be talking to nobody. Alright, so that's pretty good there. Take your squeegee, as I call it, or credit card or gift card or anything like that you have to spread the bondo with, and you just get some on here and try not to do what I just did there with a giant drip here. Just clean that up. So, I don't know how good you guys can see this, but I'm just taking it and spreading it across the low side, because this is the high side over here. You don't want to get much on this side, because then you're going to have to sand even more. So just try to get it on the low side. And you can't put bondo on too thick at one time, because it just wants to pull across and it doesn't want to stay thick very well. So you're going to have to put a couple layers on, most likely, if it's this bad. Some of these, like I said, are like the seams are almost invisible once you sand them, and you can just put a little spot putty on there and you'll be good. But this one is bad, so putting some bondo on it. So I've got that one pretty much all I can do, but I still have more bondo, because like always, I always mix too much, it seems. Which is fine, because I use it anyways most of the time. So that right there, the detail got a little messed up. This is a lot bigger than it should be, so I'm just going to have to fill in that detail and cut it out later with my Dremel tool. And in case anybody is wondering about the music, I got my iPod playing out here for the first time, so that's pretty cool. And you'll get to hear some music maybe that you haven't heard before, because I like a bunch of different types of music, mostly old stuff, but like right now it's Hank Jr. Probably never heard of him, but he's good. Anyways, so that's bondo there, and you're just going to do that anywhere you see that needs to be evened out or filled in or anything like that. Like I'd put some up here on the nose, finish going down this seam back here, and anything that you don't want on the helmet, you need to go ahead and fill in with bondo or spot putty. If it's small, you can do it with spot putty. About this crack. Now, I don't know if resin will stick to this plastic. I've never tried it, but what I'm gonna do, or at least try to do, is just put some bondo on the back of this and let that cure, and then put some on the outside. What will be good is if you add some resin jelly. It's like bondo, but it's got resin and fiberglass in it. That's even stronger than bondo. If you put that on the back side, the inside, then it'd be better. But anyways, spread some of that in here. Try not to get my hands in the bondo on the top. It's hard for you guys to see this, I think. So, and the inside doesn't have to be pretty. You just don't want it to stick out too far because it'll hit your head. But these are pretty big helmets, so you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But you just kind of putting it in there and trying to strengthen it up and fill that crack in here. Okay, so I got some on there. Still got a little bit of bondo left here. So I'm going to try to put it down here and go ahead and finish up this part. Okay, so I'm out of bondo. Just kind of fine tune it a little bit here with my finger. Try to get it even. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Gonna have quite a bit of sanding to do on this one. But there's your seam all bondoed up. At least the first coat. I'm definitely going to have to put a little bit more down and through there, and probably on the very back here. So we'll see how that looks when it dries or cures, and I'll be back in a little bit. See you then. Alright, so bondo is kind of hardened up. It's still a little tacky, but it's at the point where I can take some old sandpaper and just kind of rough it up and try to smooth it down a little bit. So I'm just going to keep sanding this, and I think I'm going to add maybe like one more coat down here, and then we'll see how it looks after that. So I'll come back after I do that.